right, we're going to keep modeling. I'm just going to work on pinching this area in here. Going to kind of zoom in really quickly. Use my move tool. Again, I'm using my mouse to kind of move around. I'm going to pinch this in. Right now, I've kind of have it looking like a sausage, the way it's pinching. Actually, this should overlap kind of like a roof shingle on top of each other. And I'll show you what that looks like. And our image here, you can see how they're kind of overlap each other. I'm not going to get that detailed. I'm just going to make sure there's a nice crease. And there's actually another side crease right in here and a little bit of creasing in here. I may do that down the road, but right now I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead and just get my crease tool and kind of pinch this in. All right, again, I'm trying to get this model done in maybe like 3 hours of me modeling, and so hopefully that means maybe 6 to 8 hours for you guys. Again, you're learning it, and I'm learning it too. This stuff, I forget after a while how to use the tool sets. So again, I just went over and grabbed my pinch tool. You saw that. I think there's a way of typing in P and getting right to a pinch tool, but I just did it really quickly. I am leaving my brush size at 22. You can kind of hit S and kind of scale this up and back and forth. So I'm just kind of using my stylus and pinching this, and you can kind of see how it's working. And I'm just kind of just dragging over it, and I'm not hitting too hard because I want to pinch it slowly over time. And you can see it's done a pretty good job. All right, before and after. Oh, you can do before and after, I'm sorry. So you can actually go up here and look at before and after. All right, so that is a cool feature up here. If you don't know this, the undo history, and you can go back in time and look at all this stuff I've done and go all the way up to where at present time or present day, right? All right, so I'm just gonna keep doing. Okay, my computer doesn't like what I'm doing now. It's starting to really turn on the fan. And I've told you guys to get maybe a pencil or two pencils, or I always just grab an extra pair of Chinese chopsticks and put them underneath the computer just to keep it air circulating around it, because this stuff can get overheated and sometimes warp your logic board or your graphics card or damage your computer. All right, so I'm just using my pinch tool, just going around here, just kind of pulling this stuff together. You can see my mask feature is still on there. Not too proud of that, but oh well. And I don't know how to undo a mask at this point. I'm not gonna mess with it. Just let it go. All right, just kind of creating some lines. Again, we're gonna get into substance and really work on the textures. Again, I'm just creating shapes that you can't really do in substance. You can only go out so far, and you guys had a little bit of experience with that with the dumpster. Basically, we can create rust, and that's about as far as out you can go. You know, all right, it's looking pretty dang good. All right, not my best model at all. It's just we're at the very beginning stages of it, and near the end, then you can critique it a little bit more. All right, so I'm just going to pinch this in a little bit. This is where the wing is. Pinch that in. All right, so I'm going to kind of stop it with that area, and I'm going to go ahead and frame that in. Again, you can use your shift and left mouse to kind of lock into a position. I think you can also do that shift and with your stylus to kind of lock it in. All right, so I'm gonna look at this. All right, and that. Again, artistic impression of it. Don't have to be perfect. I think my edging is way high on mine, especially in this area, but I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, so now I want to start working on this leg. Okay, kind of move in and zoom in and just start looking at what we have so far. So it's kind of flat, doesn't kind of bulge out as the leg should. So may have to look at some other images here. Let's see if I can find another, maybe backwards. So this is helpful, and I've uploaded all these up to on Canvas. They're about 9 megabytes each. So this is a 0021. We want to look at that. And you can see how far this comes out. And right now we kind of have it as a smooth like drumstick. So we actually want it to kind of break apart. All right. Okay, go back here. And so I'm going to go back to my ZBrush and start sculpting that out. Again, I'm going to use my standard tool to start drawing it out. Okay, this is your first model, so just don't get like too hyper detailed on it. I'm definitely like really doing this really fast. I'm not really putting a lot of effort into the final product of this. I just kind of trying to get it to where you guys can kind of follow along, but I'm not really concerned too much about the aesthetics of it or my craftsmanship. I'm just trying to show you how to get started. Looks very rough. All right, so I'm just kind of cutting this in. So these are ectoskeletons. So every kind of angle and little thing is kind of like has its own little tear off section. Go ahead and make a crease in here. Again, this is kind of like an armor on a knight. So I'm just going to go ahead and start building this out. I'm actually going to go use my Shift D, and I'm going to use my Move tool. I know we've talked about our Move tool before. This is a perfect time to use it right now. So we're going to go down. It looks like a tier, or not a tier, but paint. And I'm going to go up on my draw size big time to maybe 37, and I'm just going to pull this out. Get different angles of it, kind of pull this out. Looking good. Just bulge it out. Because we did look at it, and the image, what was that, 002, 22. And you can notice that it goes out pretty far. All right, so I'm just kind of pulling this out, make it look more like a drumstick. All right, so I'm gonna hit D, D, and get all the way up to my high definition. All right, and I think we could still probably keep pulling this out a little bit more. I want to try to see what it looks like when I pull it out. Higher level definition. Okay, just kind of trying to round it out so I have some more. I think this is the beefy leg, right? I think this is where most of the sound is made, and most of the hopping. If you've ever played with a grasshopper, they can jump pretty freaking high. All right, so we're starting to add some organic tones to it. Let's look at our image. Got almost everything open. All right, so it's basically this kind of nice shape, and then it kind of bows in and then goes out just like a kind of a turkey leg. So let's go ahead and start shaping it. Make sure we have a nice shape. Again, hold down your Shift. We'll hold it into a nice ortho view. Okay, use my Move tool, and now I'm starting to use my stylus to do that. All right. So it looks pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and create this texture here. So basically there's an outline here. And again, always look at your drawing. So it's kind of an outline here. And then I'm going to cut here. It basically looks like wheat or some sort of harvest icon or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that in. Again, we're just creating some very basic shapes. And that leg looks a lot wider here than it does here. So I'm going to go back to, I think my Move tool is still open. Just going to keep pulling this out. That's really, really broad here. And it's fine that we're making it narrow. I think that's kind of the look. So I just kind of move around. Okay. And I'm doing my Command Tab. Okay. Goes a little bit further down on the bottom here. I'm going to pull this out a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out on the other side too. So it kind of has kind of a point to it. But it's very kind of a cool tool. And you can hit Shift D to kind of go down on your geometry. And it's kind of cool, kind of the facing flattens out as you roll around it. And so you know exactly that it's going in that direction. So the move tool is really powerful just to get some big shapes and so forth in the right. So I've kind of modeled that together. Not too happy with that. Just gonna kind of soften that up. I don't know if you can hit Shift to smooth that out. Looks like it's doing something. So I'm holding Shift and it smoothed out a little bit of that, makes it a little bit smoother. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my standard tool. Again, I'm going very, very quickly. I'm not really putting a lot of time and effort into making this look exactly like the other one. Again, artistic interpretation of this on your first one. You know, you want to do like 4 or 5 models before you really start pushing the envelope of your design. Okay, so we're going to go on that inside really quickly. And I'm going to hit my Alt or Option. Okay, and again, just creating kind of this look. And go back and see how far up that goes. I'm going to go up to a point. Okay. Move tool. And then it kind of make us kind of a knuckle here, kind of imitating chicken bone. I wish it was Tuesday. Get wing night at Buffalo Wild Wings. All right, again, just doing this really quickly, just kind of build up a silhouette here. All right, looking pretty good. I like kind of like these bumpiness that we're getting, these organic tones to this, not just perfectly smooth. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut in the middle and start cutting these lines in here and start building that up. All right, doesn't have to be perfect. We could like project this onto in ZBrush and have that as kind of a starting point, but I think we're fine. So again, Option. We're just gonna go right down the center. Okay, I'm going to look at my picture one more time. All right, I think there's a point where it just kind of turns into one mass here. I think maybe at the top third point, it just turns into maybe a little mini chevrons. All right, so let's go ahead and get started at Alt. Just kind of push this in. And again, make sure your X is on. You can see that red dot in the background. Okay, I'm just going to make these little kind of chevron shapes, kind of these arrows. All right, okay, I think mine is a little bit too narrow, so I'll make the next one a little bit wider. Okay. Boy, this video must be super long. I have no idea how how long it is. All right, so we basically did that and went a little bit crazy there, but now I'm going to just use my clay buildup, and we're going to go up a little bit more on my brush. Again, hold down your S. I keep trying to use my surface screen here. I'm going to widen this up. Shift. All right, again, I'm going to use my scale tool, get up a little bit closer, and our move tool. Again, don't get afraid to get up close with this stuff. I've got a huge brush. Okay. All right, and you start to see it's starting to pixelate out. That's because we kind of stretched this out beyond its comfortable zone. So we're not going to do a Dynamesh, but just kind of work with what we have here. Go up on the brush a little bit. It seems to be a little bit small. Oh, it's a 4, no wonder. All right. Alright, you can probably hear me scratching on my tablet to, again, just try to build up. This one's looking horrible. Okay, rotate around, gonna move it. Definitely gonna use a pinching tool. This is looking like really bad modeling on my end. I'm not sure why. I have to go up to subdivision 7. So it's not giving me the resolution that I'm happy with. But anyways, just keep building this up. All right. Get the gist of it. Don't have to watch me painfully go through this. Again, I'm just trying to give you guys something to watch before you attack it. You can kind of just scan through it. These are just to give you ideas, and there's a million ways to model this, and this is just me trying to give you some guidance. Just give you some tool sets to start with. And I may go up, like I said, to another subdivision. Okay. Get used to using your move tool. Move tool again. Just start building up some knuckle area here. All right, I'm gonna zoom out, see how horrible this looks, or how great it looks, I don't know. All right, so we hit shift. Starting to see, it looks like looks pretty bad. It looks not as discreet as this. So I'm going to try to use my pinch tool and try to pinch this stuff together and then kind of smooth it out a little bit more. And I may pull this out a little bit to the further, a little bit to the edge. I think it's a little bit closer. Well, maybe not. This looks good. Maybe this edge is a little bit closer. All right, so I'm gonna go in, use my pinch tool, and I should probably really stop recording because this is a lot of information. Pinch, zoom in, let's see what this does. Okay, I'll go up on a little bit of the draw size to maybe a 12, 17. Whew, that's big. This pinch tool is pretty amazing. I think it's doing what we need. We're just kind of smoothing it out and giving it a little bit sharper line. Don't want it so sharp. We just kind of that's pretty amazing. All right, hit move. Keep going up the line here. I'm going to stop very shortly here. It's probably a 20-minute video by now. All right, looking pretty good. Keep going up here. All right, I'm gonna stop there. And again, not that great. We're just trying to get some textures in there. Ooh, that looks horrible. All right, let's see. Well, it's pretty sharp there. Not a big fan of what that looks like, but I think we can probably pull that. Let's get the move tool. And I'm gonna go up on my draw size and see if I can pull up this Apple Z. Let's go down draw size just a little bit. And I'm gonna zoom in. And I'll try to see if I get that edge to go a little bit further to the edge. Probably not a good idea. I should have just left it. All right, I'm gonna zoom out, frame in. All right, I'm gonna stop there. It's not looking too bad, but not as happy. It seems like this is a lot flatter than what I have. All right, I'm gonna stop there because I know this is a very long video.